What's up, you guys? Welcome back into the show. It's Battle from 105.9 The Rock and the Battleground podcast. And man, it is a big week in Nashville. You got WWE on Friday night. You got UFC on Saturday night. And of course, a guy who has been in Nashville a time or two, a guy that everybody loves on the show. We're joined by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson joining us. Man, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, brother. Doing great, man. The weight's coming down. Which is the battle before the storm, getting the weight down, especially at my age. It doesn't get any easier, but weight's coming down. I'm feeling shape, and I'm ready to celebrate, not just train, but celebrate this happy 4th, brother.
Absolutely, for sure. Now, I kind of want to talk about this because as we're heading into the big fight in just a couple of days, how's camp been going leading up to this fight on July 12th?
Oh, man, it's been great, man. I mean, my buddy Gabriel Bonfim, he's an aggressive fighter. He's got a great guillotine, great Doris. He's got a lot of submissions in the UFC. An up-and-coming guy for sure. And a guy that most guys in the top wouldn't want to give a chance to. But I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for those guys that gave me a shot. Those guys like Jake Ellenberger, Johnny Hendricks, Rory McDonald. Those guys that, gave me a shot at coming up, even though I wasn't even ranked. So I like to give back. I like to give those guys a chance to come up just like those guys before me did for me. But everything's been great, man. I had Rory McDonald in a few weeks ago helping me out with this camp. And I had Lorenz Larkin in last 2 weeks, helping me get ready for this fight camp. Of course, my jiu-jitsu coach, Brad Strain, who's a black belt under Carlos Machado, my brother-in-law, he's been helping me out a ton for this fight. He'll be in my corner this next weekend as well. But it's been awesome, brother.
Yeah, and that's great to hear because, like you said, I mean, he's a young up-and-comer, and Bonfim has an aggressive finishing style. So how have you tailored, without giving too much, because if he watches, we don't want to give him the insight, how have you tailored your training to prepare for his aggressive style?
Well, like you said, I don't want to give too much, but a lot of it is based off of my movement, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, if I stand there in front of a guy who walks downhill, and there's only one direction this guy's going, that's straight forward, then you're in trouble, which most guys do. They back up up against the cage, or they stand there, or they get overwhelmed with this guy striking and they shoot in on his legs, and that's where he wants you. That's where he finishes guys, with the Darces and the guillotines. So with all that information, of course, we worked our camp and everything around that, and it's a lot, based off of my movement. I got to get away from this guy. I got to get in, got to do what I got to do, and I got to get back out.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, again, buy your tickets now. They're still available at Ticketmaster.com. UFC returning to Nashville Saturday, July 12th, Bridgestone Arena. I mean, it's been a while since we've had UFC here, and definitely always is a fun night for sure when they take over Bridgestone Arena. Now, one thing that I have noticed, and of course, the keyboard warriors love to go on social media to talk about this fight. A lot of backlash from the booking of this fight. Some people agree with it. Some people don't. They've questioned if it's, too risky or too low in reward. Do you agree with that critique? And do you feel pressure to validate this matchup?
No, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know why they're going that way. I guess that makes sense. There's more other fighters, I guess, in the UFC that are more deserving of this fight. But, this guy's an up and coming. He's been finishing a lot of guys. He's had one loss on his record. It doesn't matter to me. If you're in the UFC, you're a dangerous guy. So, UFC, this is a guy that UFC is really pushing, and they're like, hey, let's make this fight happen. So I was like, sure, let's do it. And like I said, I'm always down to, go out there and show the UFC and the fans that Wonderboy's still here. I got 2 fights left on my contract, and I want to see them through. I want to honor them out, depending on how these fights go, whether I continue or not.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe you've said in the past that, I love when people are like, oh, I could do this. And you've told people, hey, if you think you can do this, step in and give it a shot. I will sit here and tell you, there's no way that I could do this. I've trained at like the UFC gym here in Hendersonville on a boxing, on the bags and everything. Fine. But you put me up against, nope, I'll tap as soon as we're done. I just love when people are like that. They're like, oh, I could do that. Okay, give it a try.
Man, that's why, less than 1% of the world's population is fighting MMA. Like, is a fighter. Mm-hmm. And it's not, in very small percentage, make it to the top dogs, right? Which is the UFC. I don't care what anybody says. The UFC is the top dog. And, I see people, thousands of people that come through the gym every day thinking they can do this, thinking they can do that, and they don't last. They don't last. I mean, as soon as you get punched in the face, or as soon as you understand and see what's actually involved with making it there, it's tough, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
tough. And it's mostly mentally. It's actually easy to make it, but it's not. The easy part is you just don't stop. You just don't give up. You go to on autopilot and you go to the gym, you know, and early in your career, 3, 4, 3 times a day. Get your jujitsu, get your wrestling, get your striking in. But it's been, I've seen thousands of people come and go, and a very small percentage of people stick around and see it through. I mean, I told my dad when I was 12 years old that I was going to fight in the UFC. He took me to UFC 2.
Wow.
UFC 2 is in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Grady Cole Center when Chemo came out on the with the big cross on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him I was going to do it then. I'm going to do this. Him being a school owner, martial arts school owner, and knowing that that was my goal, he did not let me quit. When I wanted to quit, he was like, "Nope, you thank me later for
Yep.
keeping you in this." And I do, man. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my pops, my mom, my dad. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. If it was me, I would have, my kids, everybody I know train the martial arts, so you know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks it's easy, but you don't have to fight. But I think people would do more, less crap talking to people if they knew what it was like to get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And MMA does that for you.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And I love when we go to these UFC fights, especially you have those people that are like, oh, I could do this. And then like they fight in the crowd because they've had liquid courage. And it's like, yeah, bro, that ain't happening. Like just sit down and let the guys stay down there and you stay in your seat.
Right. Yeah, man. Chill, dude. Chill. Yeah, there might be some of that. We don't know. We don't know next Saturday. There might be some fights in the crowd too.
Who knows?
But hey, pure excitement, baby. That's why these events are fun.
Absolutely, for sure. Now, I know you mentioned that you said you got about 2 fights left on your contract, and a lot of people have been asking about this. You've already ruled out a fight with Michael Page, calling it a style clash that wouldn't be exciting. But with those 2 fights left and the internet is begging for this matchup, what's your take on revisiting that plan?
I think we're both still at the same crossroads. We want to put on a fight. We want to put on a show. We don't want a fight where people would boo or whistle or, and stylistically, it just doesn't make sense. One of us would have to come out of our comfort zone and just pressure the other guy, knowing that's what he wants us to do, for to be aggressive. But I also do believe that MVP is staying at 185. I think he went up a weight class. So I think he's staying at 185. I know he's got a fight with Cannonier coming up, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, man, I'm not going to 185 either. So, I mean, I with a training partner in Chris Weidman, who fights at 185, spent most of his career there, all of his career there, he throws me around like a little dang rag doll. Of course, everybody thinks I can go to 185 because I beat Robert Whitaker, who was former middleweight champ.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like a really, really young Robert Whitaker who could at the time make the weight at 170. A lot of times he didn't make it, but he would kill himself to get down there. I mean, the dude's a big barrel chest. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen him live or in person, but he's a big guy. So I'm like, heck no, I'm not going to 185. Those guys are too big, bro. Too big.
You're like, I'll just stay where I'm at. I'm good.
They're like, go up and fight Izzy. Go up and fight Izzy. I'm like, no, that dude's like 6'4". I'm like 6 foot. He's got like a 78, 79, 80-inch reach. There's no freaking way. They're just big. It's different. When you see them on TV, they all look the same.
Mm-hmm.
All the fighters look the same. The 155ers look like they're 185ers. And I'm always guessing, what fight is this? What weight class? And they're like 155. I was like, no, I thought they were like 185, dude. They're huge. They just look a lot bigger on TV, so you don't understand until you get out there. Like heavyweights, for instance, like on the undercard or the shows that are not in the UFC. Heavyweights, 6 foot, 265, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you get, and a lot of those guys are kind of pudgy, but when you get to the UFC, these dudes are like 6'5", not an ounce of fat on them and they're walking around like 265, 270.
Mhm.
and just massive dudes. It's like it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got Derek Lewis that's going to be coming in studio next week for sure. So that's going to be one of those ones where it's like, "What's up, man?" And yeah, because like you said, you see them, they all look, they on TV they look like this, but you get them in person, it's like, "Hey, what's up, guy?"
They're huge. Like I saw Francis Ngannou not too long ago, and I forgot how big that dude was. I was at the Atlanta card, so he was
Oh, okay.
cornering Kamaru Usman. So afterwards, I was there as an analyst, and he said, "What's up?" And I just shook his hand, and his hand engulfed my forearm. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like, freak, no way.
Yeah, it's
Big dude.
definitely going to be a fun time for sure. We're going to have a lot of fun here in Nashville. UFC returning to Bridgestone Arena July 12th. Grab those tickets now, Ticketmaster.com. Now, thinking ahead, when it's time, when it's all said and done, when it's time to put the gloves in the middle of the octagon and walk away. Thinking about this, what do you want fans to remember about the Wonderboy once everything is all said and done?
Man, I mean, not just a good martial artist. I want to be known as one of the greatest strikers in the UFC. And I've been with the UFC, shoot, almost 14 years now. I'm the oldest guy in the UFC at this point, but not just a good martial artist, but a good human being, a good man, an influence for those who needed it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, an inspiration. That's what I want to be remembered as. That you don't always have to go out there angry. You don't have to always go out there mad. You can go out there with a smile on your face and have a good time while you're out there in the octagon doing it. So that's what I want to be remembered by.
Yeah, and that's a great way to remember you by once it's all said and done. We're not saying it's happening now because
No, of course not.
I think there's still about 10, 15 more years on you. I mean, you look like you're in the best shape of your life and you look like you're ready to go. And like you said, you've got this fight coming up on the 12th. You got 2 more after that. I believe that there's going to be a title shot in there because we're all about positivity and putting it out in the universe. So we're saying there's a title shot coming your way very soon.
Baby.
That's what we're saying. Now, here's the fun part of the show when we're coming to the end of this where we kind of, we've gotten to know you. We've let the guard down a little bit, but now we're really going to get to know who Stephen Thompson is. Now, this might ruffle some people's feathers, especially being in Tennessee, but who has the better barbecue, Carolina or Memphis?
Oh, dude. I mean, from South Carolina, I got to go with South Carolina barbecue, baby.
Oh.
I mean, this is where I was born and raised. You can't go back on where you were born and raised. So
Of course.
I'm going for Carolina. But that said, that doesn't mean I'm not going to give me some barbecue while I'm out there after the fact, after the weigh-ins. Got to do some Memphis barbecue, baby.
Oh, you have to get some Memphis barbecue. After you get done with the weigh-ins, you got to hit up whether it's Edley's, Jack's over there on Broadway. I mean, there's a couple barbecue spots downtown that you got to hit up after you get to the weigh-in. Once we get there, then we'll get you some barbecue from somewhere. Maybe throw in some hot chicken as well from Hattie B's or Prince's. So we'll take care of that for you after the weigh-ins.
My mouth is watering as we speak.
Yeah, man, it's again, it's a great privilege and honor to have you on the show. Last question for you. If we're scrolling through your playlist on your music selections, right? We're going through your camp playlist, right? And we're like, we didn't think this was going to be on Steven's playlist. What is that song that we're going to be surprised to see?
I mean, I don't think it's a big surprise, but I'm a huge Tenacious D fan.
Oh, fantastic.
So
pick.
I've got a whole playlist of just Tenacious D that we jam out to while we're training. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if you've seen all of his movies, if you heard of his albums, dude, that's my jam, bro. I'm constantly Tenacious D, Jack Blacking it up, KGing it up while we're training.
Oh, that's a solid. I never really thought about Tenacious D being like that training band to listen to, but I think I might have to go throw that on the workout playlist.
Dude, it hits different. It does. It hits different. It gives you something to train to. Like I'm out there sparring, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to punch and kick each other, but I'm also singing at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're jamming out while you're sparring. So it's a good beat, good rhythm too. So it's great for sparring. It's great for training. Because it gives you good rhythm. It's like listening to funk. I also have a funk playlist that I listen to because it's all about rhythm.
Yeah.
So when I move, I try to bounce to the rhythm what I'm listening to while I'm training.
I mean, those are solid selections right there. I think I might just have a new workout playlist that I got to get onto my my playlist over here. Well, Steven, man, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on. And when you get in Nashville, we're gonna have to make sure we get you that barbecue and get you in the studio.
You got it, my brother. You have a good one, my friend. We'll see you soon.